Every aloe care video tells you the same thing. Use a heavy clay pot. Lift it to feel the weight. Set it up on a high shelf so the cats can't reach it. And if you're past 65 with hands that ache in the morning, half of that advice is useless or honestly dangerous. So today, 7 simple swaps that let you grow a thriving aloe with 0 heavy lifting, 0 climbing, and 0 bending. And swap number 4, the watering trick, is the one that surprises everyone. Because it means you never have to lift a pot again to know if your plant is thirsty. These are the changes nobody makes for us. So I did the research, pulled together the horticulture know-how and the accessibility thinking, and matched them up. So every swap here keeps the plant healthy and keeps you safe. Here's the thing. Aloe is actually one of the easiest plants in the world to grow. The problem was never the plant. It was the advice. Let's fix that. Here's what we're covering today. The pot, the soil, the moisture, check the stand, the seasonal move, the harvest, and one bonus swap for sharing plants with the grandkids. Let's get into it. Swap number 1. The lightweight pot instead of heavy terracotta. Now, you'll hear that terracotta is the only pot that breathes. And that's the reason people reach for it first. Here's the thing that's just not the whole story. A 10-inch terracotta pot filled with moist soil can weigh 15 pounds or more. Some hit 17 or 18 pounds when they've just been watered. That's the weight of a small dumbbell, and you're supposed to carry that across the room, maybe out to the patio, maybe back inside before winter. A resin or plastic pot of the same size, empty, it weighs less than 2 pounds. Now here's why this works. The breathability advantage of terracotta is mostly about one thing: water evaporating through the sidewalls. That's real, but it's a minor factor compared to what's actually in the soil. We'll get to that in swap 2. For now, the swap is simple. Reach for the resin pot. Same size, same drainage holes, a fraction of the weight. Don't panic if you already have terracotta. You don't have to throw it out today. But next time you're repotting, this is the change to make. That's it. Lighter pot. Same healthy plant. Swap number 2. High-perlite soil mix, because your soil does the work, not your pot. Here's where we solve the drainage question from swap 1. If you've switched to a plastic or resin pot, the most common worry is drainage. People think plastic holds water. Aloe rots, end of story. But here's why that's not true. Drainage is controlled by the soil, not the pot material. Think of it this way. Imagine you're wearing shoes that fit perfectly versus shoes 2 sizes too small. The shoes don't change the terrain, the fit does. Heavy, dense potting soil is like those tight shoes the roots can't breathe. Water pools at the bottom, and no amount of terracotta saves you. High-perlite soil is the opposite. Perlite, those little white volcanic beads, creates air pockets in the mix. Water flows through fast. Roots get the oxygen they need. The plant stays healthy. The target ratio is about 40 to 60% perlite in your mix. You can buy a bag of perlite at any garden center or order it online. One bag lasts you years. A standard cactus and succulent mix from the store already has some perlite in it. Just add a scoop or 2 more to bump it up. You don't need to measure precisely. A little extra perlite won't hurt. Here's why this matters for the senior gardener specifically. With a high perlite mix in a resin pot, you've solved the drainage question completely. Your plant drains as well as it would in terracotta with standard soil. Or better, honestly, because perlite drains faster than clay walls can wick. Accessibility anchor. 1 bag of perlite. Costs a few dollars, lasts you years. Just scoop and mix. Now, a neighbor of mine switched to this setup last year. She said her aloe went from sad and yellow to thick and green in about 3 months. She didn't change anything else, just the soil. But here's what I want you to hold on to through Swap 3. We've talked about the pot and the soil, but there's still the question of watering. How do you know when to water if you can't lift the pot? That's coming up in Swap 4. And it's the one that surprises people every single time. Because the answer isn't a gadget. It's something you already have in your kitchen drawer. Stay with me. Swap number 3. The no-lift moisture check. The old advice is to lift the pot and feel the weight. Light pot means dry soil, time to water. Heavy pot means wet soil. Wait a few more days. That works fine if you're 35. When you've got arthritis or a back that talks back at you, lifting a pot every few days just to check that's not a solution. That's a problem waiting to happen. Here's the swap. And it's free. Grab a wooden skewer from your kitchen or a chopstick. You probably have both. Push it all the way down into the soil, right to the bottom of the pot if you can reach. Pull it out slowly. If it comes out clean and dry, the soil is dry. Time to water. If soil sticks to the skewer or the wood feels damp, the roots still have moisture. Wait 3 to 5 more days. That's it. Clean and dry means water. Damp soil on the skewer means wait. Here's why this works. Wood absorbs moisture from the soil the same way a sponge does. When the soil is dry all the way down, the wood stays clean. When there's still moisture in the root zone, the wood picks it up. University of Minnesota Extension and NC State Extension both endorse this method for succulents and houseplants. Now this works best when your pot is at a comfortable height. Not on the floor, not on a high shelf. But one more option. If your hands make it hard to push a skewer, a moisture meter is a good backup. A basic one runs about $10 to $20 online. You just push the probe into the soil, read the number, and put it back. No lifting, no guessing, one hand. Either way, skewer or meter, you never have to lift again to check. Swap number 4. The waste hort plant stand. This is the one. Here's the old setup. Aloe goes on a high shelf away from the cats, away from the dog, out of reach. That sounds smart. Until you need to water it. Until you need to check the soil. Until you need to harvest a leaf. And suddenly, you're reaching up, maybe climbing a step stool with a watering can in one hand and your balance on the other. A step stool is one of the highest fall risks in a home for adults over 65. That's not scare talk, it's just physics. You lose a few degrees of balance every decade, and a step stool gives you nothing to hold on to. Here's the swap. A waist-height plant stand. Set your aloe at hip or waist level, roughly 30 to 36 inches off the ground. You can see it, reach it, water it, check it, and harvest it without bending down or reaching up. And here's the bonus. Waist height keeps it out of reach of most small dogs and cats without any climbing on your part. Now, a quick word on pet safety. Aloe contains a latex sap in the rind that can upset your pet's stomach if they chew the leaves. Mostly that means vomiting or diarrhea, not a life-threatening situation, but not pleasant either. Waist height on a solid stand keeps it out of casual reach. Small dogs can't jump it. Cats will be cats, but most don't bother a plant they can't easily reach. No step stool, no climbing, no guessing. Just roll your caddy over. Wait, we haven't talked about the caddy yet. Just walk over and take care of your plant. That's the swap. High shelf out, waist height stand-in. No lifting, no climbing, no step stool. Swap number 5. The rolling caddy for the seasonal move. Here's why this one matters. In USDA Zones 10 and 11, South Florida, Hawaii, parts of extreme Southern California, aloe can live outside year-round without frost protection. Leave it out. Enjoy it. But in Zone 9 and colder, aloe needs to come indoors before the first frost in fall. Zone 9 covers southern Texas, coastal Georgia, and the Carolinas, southern Arizona. If you get nights below 30 degrees, your aloe comes inside. The old way is to carry the pot. You know the weight now. That's not an option. The swap is a plant caddy with wheels. They're plastic, they're sturdy, and a basic one costs around $10. Set your pot on the caddy when you first plant it. Leave it there. When fall comes and the nights start getting cold, you just roll it to the door. 1 hand, 5 feet, done. Here's why this works. Most rolling plant caddies handle 15 to 25 pounds easily. Even a fully watered resin pot is well within that range. The wheels lock, so it won't roll away in a breeze. And this same caddy works indoors year-round. Roll it to the sunny window in winter, roll it back to the shaded corner in summer if you need to. One $10 caddy. Years of stress-free moves. You know, my grandmother used to say that the hardest part of gardening isn't the growing, it's all the moving and fussing around the growing. A little caddy would have saved her a lot of trouble. Swap number 6. One-handed harvest with kitchen shears. Aloe leaves are thick. They're full of gel, and they've got a tough rind on the outside. The old way is to grab the leaf near the base and twist or snap it off. If your hands are strong and your grip is reliable, that works fine. But if your grip strength isn't what it was, or if you've got stiffness or arthritis in your hands, forcing a thick, succulent leaf is a recipe for a slip or a strain. The swap. Long-handled kitchen shears. The kind you probably already have for chicken or herbs. Hold the leaf steady with one hand, or don't even hold it. Just let it rest against the pot. Angle the shears at the base of the leaf as close to the stem as you can get. One clean cut. Done. No twisting, no forcing, no grip strength needed. Here's the bonus. Because your aloe is at waist height from swap 4, you're cutting at a comfortable angle. No bending, no reaching up. Just snip and harvest. Here's why this works. Cutting close to the base removes the leaf cleanly without damaging the plant. Aloe heals quickly. New leaves grow from the center. A clean cut actually leads to faster recovery than a rough twist. One more thing. Always harvest the outermost lowest leaves first. Those are the most mature. The inner leaves are younger and need more time. Work from the outside in, and your plant keeps growing strong. One hand, one snip. That's it. And now, swap number 7. The bonus. Swap number 7. Sharing pups with the grandkids. Here's something that doesn't make it into most aloe care videos. Aloe makes babies. After a year or two, sometimes sooner, you'll notice little plants growing at the base of your aloe. Curled up green compact. Those are called pups. Each pup is a whole new aloe plant ready to go. Here's the swap. Instead of leaving them or throwing them away, which is what most people do, Twist one off gently at the base. It should come free with a small tug. Pot it up in a 4-inch container with the same high-perlite mix from swap 2. Water it lightly. Set it in a bright window. In a few weeks, that little pup is a thriving baby aloe. Now here's the part that makes this special. Put that pup in a paper cup with some perlite mix. Write the plant's name on the side with a marker. Hand it to a grandchild. It's their first plant. It's almost impossible to kill. It grows on a windowsill with very little water. And they'll ask you how you knew to give them exactly that. Don't panic if you don't have grandkids nearby. A neighbor's kid, a friend's daughter, a co-worker's curious teenager. Any first plant for any young person who walks through your door. The pup is free. The moment is priceless. That's the beauty of aloe. One plant becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes a whole small legacy passed from one windowsill to the next. All right, let's bring it home. 7 swaps. That's all this is. Swap 1 lightweight resin pot instead of heavy terracotta. Less than 2 pounds, empty. Swap 2 high perlite soil mix. 40 to 60% perlite. Drainage solved. Swap 3 wooden skewer moisture check. Clean and dry means water. Damp means weight. Swap 4 waist height plant stand. No step stool, no climbing, no reaching up. Swap 5 rolling caddy. Seasonal moves. With one hand, no help needed. Swap 6 kitchen shears for harvest. One cut one hand, no grip strength required. Swap 7 share the pups. First plants for the next generation. Here's the thing. Nobody's too old to garden. They just gave you the wrong setup. And here's the real lesson from all 7 of these swaps. Lighter on your back, easier on your hands, and just as good for the plant. Start with swap 1. Next time you're repotting, or next time you're shopping for a new container, reach for the resin pot. That's the first domino. The rest follow naturally. If this helped you, give this video a thumbs up so more gardeners over 65 can find it. And leave a comment below. I'd love to know which swap surprised you most. My guess is it's swap 4. It usually is. There's more where this came from. Check out our next video right up here. Happy gardening!